Thanks so much for joining us on the show today. I am really excited with my guest. His name is Johnathon Heilbroun. He is just an up and coming, amazing country singer. He loves classic, modern, little gospel thrown in, and he's won several awards already, which we will talk about, or you can see in the notes for the show. But today we're just going to have a conversation because he is young and he's already so successful. And I'm so impressed with his work ethic and who he is as a person. So, welcome, Johnathon. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Miss Julie.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, you've had a busy week already because you've been doing a radio tour, haven't you?
Yes, ma'am. 4 stations in, or sorry, 8 stations in 4 states in 4 days.
Okay, wait. 8 stations, 4 states, 4 days. Wow. What states?
Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia.
That's amazing. So I'm assuming you drove.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Okay, so tell me a little bit about that. I'm going to go back in a minute because I want to hear like how you got into music even to begin with. But
Okay.
I do want to start with that. Like,
Mhm.
what is that like? Just going, hey, I'm going to go show up. They invited me. I'll show up and talk about my music that's out right now. Like, how does that work for people who don't know?
It was pretty cool, actually. So the radio promotion team that we used actually set that whole tour up. They would reach out to the DJs or the program director of the station and say, "Hey, you've been playing the Jonathan song. Would love to get him in there for an interview with you." And they would say, we can do this time at this day. And she set all that up so the stations correlated state wise and time wise, distance and traveling and everything. Um, it was actually really cool because you would show up to the station and like you'd walk in and they already know who you are and why you're there.
Wow.
It's a really cool experience.
I love that for you. I love that you got to do that. I did a radio tour one day, and it was just voice. I called in,
Hmm.
and I think I did 8 stations in one day, and it was this
Really?
topic, yeah, that had been set up for me with this PR company, and it was this topic, and so I had to call cold. I had no idea where. They just
Hmm.
said, call this number, and the very first, I was really nervous because I'd never done that before, and it felt weird being on the phone and not being in person and
Hmm.
seeing them. And the very first one that answered, it was like 6:15 in the morning, and I heard the intro on the station on the hold music, and it was for a different time slot. And so I got the guy's name wrong. And I was like, well, good morning, so and so. And he was like, yeah, my name is, Steve or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, how do I recover from this? So I'm glad you got to do in person. That's really fun. And
Yes,
what a
ma'am.
great experience for you.
Yes, ma'am, it was.
So we're going to go back. I want to hear, because this has been a fairly short journey for you, I think, like 5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about that. I know a little bit about what I've read, but I want people to understand how amazing you are, how fast you've done this, what a great team you have. I know your parents are super involved, and y'all just blown it out of the water. I love it.
Thank you. Well, so growing up from kindergarten on up into middle school, I knew in kindergarten I wanted to be a professional football player and be in the NFL. So that was my goal all the way through, my schooling was to be a pro football player. And I was playing rec ball and going to as many football camps as I could. But in sixth grade, the rec leagues stopped. So I had to go to school because I was homeschooled. So I went to a private school close to where we live called Griffin Christian Academy, and I was playing football. And this girl heard me singing one time, and she goes, "Hey, you need to join the school chorus class." Now, what do 13-year-old boys do when a girl tells them to do something? They do it. So I did. And I joined the school chorus class. And that week that I was in there, the first week, the teacher looked at me and goes, "You get a solo song." And I was kind of nervous. I was like, "Oh, okay." Um, but I really enjoyed it. And so I had always begged my parents to get me a guitar. And a few years before this, Dad made me a deal. He goes, if you take 2 years of piano lessons, I'll buy you a guitar. And I was like,
Nice.
okay. So I took the 2 years of piano lessons. Like I said, I was still football focused at
Mhm.
that time. But my 2 years were up and I got a guitar. And so in January of 2021, I took my first guitar lesson and I was learning Scotty McCreery's 5 More Minutes, which is a great song.
Yeah.
For those of you out there that have never heard the song, go check it out. It's a great song. But
I concur.
I was learning that song, and at the time, I thought I was getting pretty good. Now I've gone back and listened to that video since, and it's pretty bad. But
I bet it's not as bad as you think it is, but sometimes we're our biggest critics, aren't
yes,
we?
ma'am.
Mhm.
Um, but so I one town over from our hometown is a town called Williamson, and every year they have an arts and crafts festival called the Williamson Wisteria Festival. And every year they kick it off the night before the festival actually starts with a talent show. And so I decided I was going to go and I was going to enter into the talent show 4 months after my first guitar lesson. So I started in January
Wow.
and the talent show was in April. And, you know, I got up there and I was last. And so I sang the song, and hearing everybody cheer and clap
Mhm.
just really made me think in my brain, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I like this. This is what I want to do. So since then, we've been chasing this dream.
I love that. Okay, I need to so many questions. How like what gave you the confidence to go, especially what, 4 months?
Yes, ma'am.
Playing the guitar 4 months and you go, "Okay, I've gotten feedback that I'm not a bad singer." Maybe even people have said, "You're a great singer." But still, how did you dig down and find did it just were you just like kind of convicted, or did somebody say to you, just do it and encourage you? Like, how does that work? Because I'm sitting here going, I'm so impressed with everything you're doing, but especially with that.
Well, Dad really just kind of was like, "You should do it," because we were
Mhm.
there that night, and I was gonna sign up. Um, but before that, he was just like, "You should do it," and I was like, "Okay," so I did.
Okay, good job, Dad. I'm gonna have a look at you now. Seriously, it's funny. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. I think you're my 16th episode. I've just started this a few months ago.
Yes, ma'am.
And I kind of just jumped in. I had another podcast that was audio. I've had a whole thing in my background. This is kind of full circle for me for what I studied years ago. And I've always been interested in doing on camera stuff. And I'm doing all the creative thing, writing,
Hmm.
songwriting. But I I so love when people come on here and talk about either their parents or a teacher or a mentor when they were young who just said, "Do it, go for it." Because
Yes, ma'am.
that's huge, and
Hmm.
I know you appreciate it now, but probably in a few years you're gonna go, "Wow," because there are a lot of people out there who have stories that aren't like that.
Yes, ma'am.
So I love that you have that, and that's amazing. Yeah, you
Thank
for
you.
getting up there.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thank
just
you.
showing up. That's the thing too, right? With what we're all doing right now. Just
Yes,
keep
ma'am.
showing up. You're gonna show up tonight. We're
Yes,
part of
ma'am.
the same event this evening,
Yes, ma'am. We
music
are.
event, and I'm excited about that and can't wait to hear you play that. So, how did you go from playing the Wisteria Festival? What happened next?
So from playing the Wisteria Festival, I had made the decision that that's what I wanted to do. So I had to learn in order to do that, in order to get gigs, you have to learn 3 hours of music. So
That's a lot.
I had to sit down and learn song after song after song after song and memorize it because I don't read my lyrics or the chords or anything. So all my stuff, everything I know is memorized. Um, and so I sat there and memorized everything, every chord change, every word. And I finally built up to that 3 hour set. And then we started booking gigs and we started, doing some close to
Mhm.
home gigs. And then we started venturing out and then going further and further and further.
So at this time, at this point, you were doing covers. You
Yes,
weren't.
ma'am.
Were you writing at the same time yet,
No,
or
ma'am.
were
Not
okay?
yet.
Okay. So I love it. So you're out there. You got three. That's a long time. I'm trying to. I don't do math well. I was trying to math in my head, like how many
Between
songs.
between 36 and 40 songs.
What? Wow. Okay. So what are some of your favorites that you learned that you were playing when you first started doing it? Were you like going classic? Were you doing? Were you
Mama
do,
Tried by Merle Haggard. That's one that has
love
been in my set since the beginning.
love it?
Um, Over the past 5 years, my set has changed so
It
much.
has.
It's a lot of stuff has been taken out and replaced and switched around. I'm trying to think of some of the songs that were there from the beginning.
No, I just think it's fine. I just think it's curious because how old were you? 14? No.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a lot
13.
of math this morning.
Uh, I just turned 13 when I got my first guitar. So when I first started, I
Okay.
was 13.
Wow. Okay. And so when did you play your first 3 hour gig? How old were you?
I don't know the answer to
Do you
that
remember?
question. I do not know, ma'am.
Like probably 15, 16?
No, man, it was before that.
Wow.
First 3 hour gig. I was probably 14 for my first 3 hour gig. It probably took me about a year to work up to 3 hours.
That's amazing discipline. And especially because you already had other interests.
Mm.
So the fact that you just kind of dug in and did it, I
Yes,
mean,
ma'am.
that's
And
a good lesson for anybody. Doesn't matter what age you are,
and the,
whatever you're trying to do.
everybody at home on the camera watching this can see that I am a pretty small dude. So football was not the best fit because when I was 13, I was like 120 pounds, and middle school football players are racking in at like 200 now. Yeah.
No way.
Yes, ma'am. So it was I just kind of thought this isn't worth my knees and the rest of my life being in pain. So I think I'm gonna go to music, and so that's
So
what we
that was
did.
an easy call.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to kind of go, yeah, I don't need to be out there with a bunch of 200-pound dudes.
Yes, ma'am.
Smart. I think that's really smart. And I love it that it was a choice because a lot of people, this show's called Chords and Crossroads because
Mm,
I like talking about, hey, what happened in your life that was good or bad that kind of sent you in a different direction and there are a lot of people who their story involves something really hard. Like somebody recently, they had a massive sports injury in high school. They were going to go on and be a football player, and because of that injury, they ended up learning how to play the bass. Like they didn't know anything about guitar, but they were laid up for an entire summer and knew they couldn't play football again.
mm.
And that's how he learned to play the bass and put himself through school. And I'm like, so I love that you had the choice. You were like, okay, you know what? I'm going this way,
Yes, ma'am.
and that'll be fun. So are you in with a lot of practice? Because I was classically trained on the piano. I had to practice a lot, and I didn't like it.
I did not at all. I
Okay.
had a classical
Okay, good.
teacher.
Thank you.
I had a classical teacher, and I wanted to learn things like "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey. Some of the fun stuff to play,
Yeah. Hmm.
and she wouldn't teach it to me, and so I kind of lost interest. But I kept doing my 2 years of piano because I wanted my guitar.
That's good, and that's a good base. I had a teacher like that. I loved her. I'm thankful for everything she
Hmm.
taught me, but I think I took with her for 7 years up until
7
I was
years.
18.
That's a lot of piano.
And I had to, I started in first grade. So I learned and took lessons from first to 12th grade.
Oh wow.
And I was
Okay.
with that one, and she was like, no, we don't do popular music. Because same thing.
Hmm.
I had, back when there were sheet music stores, I'd go and get all these popular songs and go, oh, I want to learn this. And she's like, no, you're doing classical, which I think is a shame because I think any kind of music is great for us to learn. So
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
proud of you for sticking it out to get your guitar.
Thank you.
So you did not, or did you have trouble? I have trouble translating from piano to guitar. Do you have trouble with that or no?
Well,
I don't know
I don't
why I
read
do.
sheet music when I play guitar. So
But
I,
I mean, even like my brain switching from a chord on the keyboard
mhm.
versus a chord on the guitar neck.
Oh, it was completely different to me. I think
Yeah.
piano really helped me because I had the I can't think of the word, the dexterity in my
Uh-huh.
fingers from stretching to hit
Mm-hmm. An
hit
octave.
keys and
Yeah.
octaves and notes
Yeah.
and stuff. So I think that really helped me with being able to wrap my hand around the guitar neck and actually reach the notes that I needed to chord.
That is okay. I need to practice on the piano more then because I need that. I'm like on my third try with the guitar and it's sad. It's just so sad. I can't do a bar chord and that's when I give up. I'll get to that point and then go,
Mhm.
yep, no, I'm done. And so
Those are tough.
you gave me hope.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me at your age now, I mean, I know that right now you're going, this is my life, this is what I want to do. And I know that your parents are very involved, which I love that because I think there's so much out in the world that we
Mhm.
need some guardrails around before, even when we think we don't.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
know, I don't get the impression you're that guy that says, I don't need this. um, but you know, sometimes we can have a little rebellion and feel that way. So I love it. How does that help you navigate for anybody who's young and like really looking at being in this business and just your story? How do you navigate all the big things that are out there? Is it just having your parents kind of alongside and
That does help
Mhm.
a lot, and it's also some things look good on paper, but you've got
Mhm.
to research some things and see, how does this end up, right? So, getting there's been people that have got number one songs overnight because of social media, and their number one song goes to Billboard all the way to number one, but there's no foundation there to keep their career um, at that same, I guess I don't want to say level because they're great, right? If anybody can get a song and make somebody feel something, they're great. But there's a not only a business side that comes with it, but also a being able to deliver side. And if you're not prepared for the demand that you're going to get from that, um, you know, so it takes 10 years to be an overnight success, which is that's actually the answer to one of the quick round questions you were going to ask me.
We can do it again too.
Okay.
You can give that same answer.
But that's why that's a saying, because you have to build the foundation of being able to deliver consistently night after night after night and giving your fans the show that they deserve, that they paid their hard-earned money for every single time you walk out on stage.
I love that. I'm just listening and taking it in. You're very wise, and I love that that's your attitude because we live in a fast world, and
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think sometimes we can all get to that point where we just want it to come. Or,
Mhm.
I mean, I'll sit there and tap my phone, and go, "Okay, really, Lord, can we just like hurry this along?" And I think you're so smart
Thank
because
you.
it's developing all of that and having that sure. Because I think too, if I don't know, you tell me. If somebody has a song that blows up overnight, social
Mhm.
media, and they don't have that foundation of putting in the hours, practicing, hard work, understanding the demands of what you're doing, understanding that, it looks glamorous,
Mhm.
but it's not.
Mhm.
There's so much hard work that goes into it. And for those few moments where people are on stage and people go, oh, they're so great. And then you walk off stage and you've got your life. So we all have stuff we go through.
Mhm.
What would you say to them about just that encouragement of or what you put into practice for yourself? You know, just is it something you tell yourself every day? Is it something that you go, I just got to get this foundation built stronger and that's my goal so that I
Mhm.
can give everybody the show they deserve to come here because for them, for your people in your audience,
Mhm.
it might be the only time they come see you and you want to be on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Um, like I practice 3 hours a day or longer. Um, because actually my manager told me this. So I remember it. We were sitting down in her office and doing a vocal lesson, and I asked her, I was like, "Is there like, am I doing something wrong?" Because I was told by another vocal coach to only practice an hour a day. So you didn't wear your voice out, just practice an hour a day and you're good. So that's what I was doing, right? Because professional had told me that and I didn't know what I was doing. So I remember sitting down in my vocal coach and manager's office now, and she goes, "Okay, what does your practice look like?" And I was like, "Well, I'm practicing an hour a day, every day." And she goes, "Okay, you used to play football, right?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "How long were your practices?" Hour and a half, 2 hours, if maybe on a good day, 2 hours. And she goes, "Well, how long were the games?" And I was like, "Well, the games were only like 45 minutes to an hour." She goes, "Why would you practice shorter than you're going to play? Why would you not practice as long as you're going to play or longer?" And I was like, "That makes sense." And she goes, "You got to build up the stamina in your voice. You got to build up the holding the energy the whole 3 hours of the show. You got to build up everything, and that just takes time." So it took Taylor Swift 10 years to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
So that's the piece of advice that I would give everybody, no matter your situation. It took Taylor Swift, the biggest artist in the world, 10 years to be an overnight success.
I love everything that you just said, especially I love that you got that advice. That's so good. Gosh, I'm sitting here going, okay, I feel guilty that I don't put in nearly what I should for everything I'm doing because and I think it's good to hear that from you because again, we live in such a fast-paced world and we want I mean, look at I don't want to bring up the taboo subject, but even AI,
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many conversations I have a week. Had one this morning where I was like, "Okay, I need to work on blah." And the answer I got was, "Well, if we just go to Chat GPT real quick, you know, we can get that." I was like, okay, but I don't really want to." Because I think we're just in something, some
Mhm.
tools help us and they're great. But I think you're right. If you've got to build the stamina, you've got to build on stage in who knows what kind of environment, whether
Mhm.
you may be indoors, you may be outside, you may be, um, I went to the, what's it called? I can't believe it. The Christian and Gospel Museum in Nashville. It's a new museum. It's great.
Okay.
And I think that's it. I think it's the Christian and Gospel Museum of Music or something. My apologies. um, but I went to see a friend play there and they have this great section. And it's like they have these like garage doors they open. It just happened to be a very weird morning where it was really, really hot outside.
Mhm.
And I felt so bad for her because I could tell, even though she was set back and there was air conditioning on, it was just so hot. She was getting hot on their stage.
Mhm.
Um, and not saying anything about them. It's a great venue. But I was watching her and going, she wasn't dressed for it. She was dressed to be indoors in the air
Mhm.
conditioning. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's got to be dying, but she did it for like an hour and a half. So I love that you have that discipline because I know you do.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's just impressive. So tell me real quick. I want to know like what do you think about like what you want the next year to look like?
So the next year, I'm actually getting ready with my band. We're starting to build up our set list and practice and get comfortable playing with one another because it's really easy to accompany yourself because you're playing with yourself and you know what yourself is going to do. But when you start playing with other people and throwing other people in the mix, you're all on the same page, but you got to make sure you're on the same line. And with my band, I'm making sure we're all on the same line, on the same word. So we're practicing and getting 3 hours of actual band shows built up, and so I want to start doing more band shows and start doing more live shows with the band where it's not just me. Um, and also, maybe after that, going on tour with somebody, opening up for them, going out on the road,
Mhm.
maybe getting on the festival circuit, getting like these music festivals and stuff like that. That would be amazing. So that's our goal for the next year.
Love that. And I didn't know that you had a band put together. That's
Yes,
exciting.
ma'am.
And I love how you just put it because you're right. I wouldn't have thought about it that way, but I love it. You're not just on the same page and the same line. You got to be on the same word
Yes, ma'am.
and pull it off.
Mhm.
That's great. And are they people that you know or people that that you've worked with before? What does that
So
look like?
last year we opened up for Chris Lane at a local amphitheater called the Fayetteville Amphitheater, close to where we live in Georgia. And so I had to put a band together kind of quickly. Um, and so I already knew a drummer at the time. Um, and I just reached out to a bunch of people and was like, "Do you want to play with me?"
Mhm.
I already knew a drummer. I found a bass player through a church that's close to us, and then the one of the guitar players that I had reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I would love to play with you if you'd have me." And I was like, "Yeah, come on." Uh,
Nice.
my old lead guitar player, I known him for a few years. Um, and then so my drummer had some. He had to step away from being in the band and doing music for a little bit, and so I had to find a new drummer. So I did. Um, and since then, I have moved my bass player to drums, found a new bass player, and I've kept the same keyboardist. And I'm currently looking for a guitar player, but we're getting close to that, getting close to finding one.
I'm like, do we need to have a shout out there? Okay, because I know that being in with a group of people,
Mm.
right? We're all fallen human beings and we all have our quirks and our things. How is that so far? Are you feeling really confident with how it's working out and just navigating people and different
Hmm.
things? Is it kind of gelling? Do you feel like you're all kind of coming together and
I think the band that I have put together right now is, I mean, I'd put them up against anybody, anybody, because I know what they know, and I know how they work, and we all just kind of fit together like they're like family.
that's great. I love that. I was hoping that's kind of what I was wondering if it felt like that because we don't pick our families and we're in families and everybody has their individual stuff, but I think if you have that common belief in each other that we're in this together, we're doing it. I love
Hmm.
that. I wish you the best with that and I
Thank
cannot
you.
wait. I'm so excited that you wanted to come on. I wanted to talk to you cuz I think you're a great talent
Thank you.
and I'm just thankful that you were willing to come join me and have a conversation
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for
and hear
having
your
me.
nuggets. Oh my gosh, you're so wise and I think you shared some things that are going to be so helpful to people listening. And that's kind of our goal. So tell me, you have a song you're going to do.
I do.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about it? And then you can play us on out.
So this one is, you mentioned the radio tour
Mhm,
earlier.
mhm.
So this is my current radio single. This one's called "Goodbye Looks Like." It's number 76 on the Music Row charts right this week. So as this is being filmed, it's number 76. Um, and this song just kind of came together one night with me and some friends, Mr. Tim Comex and Grayson Campbell. We're in a Zoom meeting. We're gonna write a song, and we're getting our, how you been, all that stuff out, and we're figuring out what we want to write that night. And Grayson throws out this idea, and he goes, "Well, what does goodbye look like?" And at the time, I was going through a pretty rough breakup.
Mm.
And so that line just kind of hit me, right? And I was like, we're writing that tonight. That's what we're writing. And they were like, okay, let's go. So we ended up writing the song in about 3.5 hours that night. And it is what it is today.
That's exciting. And the fact that it's number what, 76?
Yes, ma'am.
On the chart. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's massive. All right. I can't wait to hear it. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for
Appreciate
having
you being
me.
on here.
Met you through a friend of a friend. That night I knew I had to see you again. Next week we were running around town, trying to find trouble to get into. Everybody said we were picture perfect. Late night FaceTime, no sleep worth it. Holding on to every minute like they were all that we were getting. Now looking back, I swear we had it right. Now it's looking like taillights tearing down a two-lane road. A sad song playing on the radio. Nothing but dust kicking up in the rear view. Good years spinning just like they were meant to. One left turn till you're gone for good. You ain't coming back, but I wish you would. Now I'm watching that Georgia plate fade into the night. Guess that's what goodbye looks like. Said it's not you, it's me. But I guess the grass here wasn't quite so green. Hope you find what you were looking for. Cause right now what I'm looking towards is taillights tearing down a two-lane road. A sad song playing on the radio. Nothing but dust kicking up in the rear view. Good years spinning just like they were meant to. One left turn till you're gone for good. You ain't coming back, but I wish you would. Now I'm watching that Georgia plate fade into the night. Guess that's what goodbye looks like. I thought a love like ours was built to last, but if it was, I wouldn't be here looking at taillights tearing down a two-lane road. A sad song playing on the radio. Nothing but dust kicking up in the rear view. Good years spinning just like they were meant to. One left turn till you're gone for good. You ain't coming back, but I wish you would. Now I'm watching that Georgia plate fade into the night. Girl, I guess that after all we couldn't get it right. I'm still watching your Georgia plate fade into the night. Guess that's what goodbye looks like.